Hello YouTube. Today is July 2nd, 2015. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. It's really early. And I woke up at like 6 o'clock in the morning. We have some family coming into town and I just got up. I heard other people awake in the house. I was awake. So, however, I'm not having a really good day today. I'm very excited that we have family coming over today. I'm very excited that, we're going to have people here visiting Colorado for the first time. However, what I wanted to just do a quick video of is the ups and downs of someone like myself and what I technically do go through emotionally with this. And it was the whole purpose of me doing this now is to get into me. I'm not a professional, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist. I don't know anything about that. Now, have I talked to counselors and have I gone to psychologists and a therapist in my life? Yes, I have. From a young child to now, I'm just seeking something else to take out all this that's in here out and use it in a positive way instead of just sitting and thinking about everything that's happened. Like, we all have our days where we go up and down or in between, and then some of us have maybe 1 or 2 bad days a month. I don't know. I will not take medications. I don't take medications. So some people watching this may be like, you're depressed, take antidepressants. No, I will not take prescriptions. It's not something I haven't tried, so I'm not knocking it and I'm not knocking it and not tried it. Like, it's something I have tried and it's not for me. I don't want to be on pills. I don't want to have to take something that's going to control me, and that's exactly how I feel when I'm on those type of medications. I feel like this is something that is making me feel like this is taking care of that issue, and it's just not. It's still there. I'm just not noticing it as much. I'm not feeling it as much. I've become more numb to it, which is not healthy as well. Now, with today and all this great news that people are coming and everything, I should be happy. I should just be so excited, and I feel like shit, and I feel so bad. And it just made me think, it's like, I know I'm not the only person that does this. Like, you could be doing everything great, you could be doing everything good, and you're just gonna feel bad. I think over a period of time, and of course over a long period of time, when you've been exposed to abuse and stuff like that, your mind becomes like your worst enemy. And it's like, I don't have anyone beating or battering me anymore. I have myself that I fight with myself. I make myself feel like crap. I can tell myself how worthless and what I can tell myself that I'm garbage. It is what it is, and I feel it, and then what happens is, and how that cycle works is, it's just one negative thought, and then it's like, oh my gosh, I can't get nothing right, and then it's, oh my gosh, I start just reflecting from the beginning, always from the beginning, and you always think about the beginning, and they say don't do that because you're gonna fall into a trap. You can't always go back. You can't think about back, but this is something that is not just back. This is something that's affecting the present. This is something that, granted, it is something that happened from the past. However, I constantly am coming up or dealing with something on a daily basis that I feel like I shouldn't have to be dealing with. A normal person, what is normal, but a person who has not been abused or damaged in any way, I feel like gets up, drinks coffee, goes about their day. I get up, drink coffee, and I think about what a fuck up I am. I'm sorry. And it always lasts for a moment. It doesn't last like a long time, thank God. But I wanted to do this video because I wanted to hear some different opinions as far as how people handle that. Like, how do you handle that? Excluding therapy, counselors, medication, speaking to a professional. Once again, these are avenues that I have gone. These are avenues that I've done. So I definitely don't want to hear that. I got it, been there, doesn't work. I want people who feel like I feel. People who prefer to figure it out, and find different techniques that are not going to fix the problem, because I don't want anything to fix this. This is not going to be fixed. I just want to be able to handle my bad days. So, with that being said, today is Thursday. Got one more day till Friday. I spoke with my mom today. I miss her so much. I wish that I could be there to celebrate that love wins, and that anybody, no matter what your sexuality is, you can get married in the 50 states. You can get married anywhere. If you would have asked me how I felt about that as a kid and a teenager, I probably would have, I don't know, I probably would not have been, probably wouldn't feel like how I feel now. But I love my mother, and she deserves to be happy, and she deserves to marry whom she pleases. And I don't know, it's you have those people who don't believe in marriage and who don't need black and white, and you have people like that in the gay community as well, that a ceremony and just those two souls there uniting as one was all that they needed, and they will continue and be people who believe in that. However, if you decide and you choose to look at it in black and white, you can't. 2015. I was born in 85. I grew up in the 90s. This was debated and argued for so long that this is history. This is reality. It's just so beautiful. And today's an emotional bad day, so I am so sorry that I'm just crying. I really feel bad today. I feel happy and I'm excited and I miss my mom, and we have family coming in, and I just feel like on days like this where I should just be joyful, happy, my mind just tells me, your birthday's next month, you're gonna be 30. What have you accomplished? You haven't accomplished anything. You haven't done anything. You have nothing to show. If you were to die today, what would you leave? Those are horrible things to think about on a constant basis. So constant that you would think it would push me to work harder to get the things that I want. And that's where my imbalance and my chemical balance kicks in. It doesn't. It doesn't scare me. It makes me feel bad, because I then feel like a failure, so I end up doing things I'm not supposed to be doing, going back to old habits and being irresponsible. That is what I do best, it seems. My mom's like, I talked to her today, and she's just like, you're the big sister, and you make sure you got your priorities straight, and make sure you do this. I'm sorry. Really wishing we had tissues, but I don't. Anyway, my mom, I'm just gonna stop crying because this is ridiculous. My mom was just telling me how was just giving me advice that moms, mothers do. And if you're the oldest, you always have that responsibility of looking after your younger siblings. And I'm gonna tell you, I've had my moments. I've had my moments where financially, emotionally, I was able to do things for my brother, my little brother, okay? And it seems now that I'm an adult, my brother has done more for me as my little brother. Which is not a bad thing, I shouldn't have that much responsibility. Unfortunately, maybe if I was a different person, maybe if I had a different way of growing up, I really feel like things would have been different. However, unfortunately, this is it, and I can't make myself do something I can't. And I'm not saying this to make her feel bad, but I want to be somebody that my family's proud of. I want to be someone that my family can depend on. However, I've been in the state, and I've been here now in Colorado Springs, of course. I've been here about a year and 3.5 months. I've been able to stay at a job for a year after relocating from Denver and losing my job and losing my place. And the thing is, that's been my life. That has been my life. Moving and starting over and always having a perspective that things are going to get better. Always. My up and move here to Colorado back in 2010 was so that I could have a different life than I was living in South Carolina. It just became the same old routine that devastated me. I was like, am I going to be like these people here? Like, it just scared the crap out of me. I was 24 years old when I realized I can't be in South Carolina. I have to get out of South Carolina. I've already lived in New York. Unfortunately, as much family and everything that I have there, they have no idea how messed up this chick is. They wouldn't even know how to handle it. They would want me to pray. That's what they would want me to do. They'd want me to pray that it gets better, which I do, but it also takes action and support no matter what. You can't be ashamed because someone was abused, and you shouldn't be ashamed because someone has problems because of that. And if you have family that is like that, you need to get away from that family. I'm not saying that that's how my family is. However, I don't really know what information they know or anything. I mean, I don't know. I feel like they only know a little bit. My mom doesn't tell me what she tells them. They don't tell me what they know. They never made an attempt to talk to me about the things that happened. My family's, on my dad's side, it's like, if it happened, it happened, get over it, make yourself a better life. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You're going to struggle, just do it, and it works for some. It doesn't work for all. And fortunately, I don't know how to handle that. I just don't. I just know that I had to get out of there, and I've been here. And I just have my good days and bad days, and today's a bad day. Today I feel like I am a failure. Today I feel like my birthday's in a month, and I have nothing. But then the other side of me says, shut the fuck up. This is funny. The other side of me does say, shut the fuck up. You've been through hell and back. You've been homeless. You've had cars. You've traveled. You've done the impossible. And you're still here. And you're not on cocaine. You're still clean. The other side tells me of all the things that I've had to overcome. And even though I may be struggling emotionally with handling this, there is going to be an outlet that I'm going to find, and it is going to be a success. However, we all have different triggers, we all have different ticks that work. So I need to just find my chi. I need to find it, I need to find what is going to get me through these days where I feel like crap. Because anybody who tells you you're nothing, or anybody who tells you you have nothing to show for your life, you don't need to be around those people. And I've had 2 people in my life tell me that, which one of them was my grandfather and one of them was my uncle. Now my uncle, I know he said it out of love, okay, and it is the main reason why it's probably in my head right now, because it is something that has stuck with me. I want to say a couple years, I went back to South Carolina. It was, my sister had passed away, actually. Brandy, we miss you. She was not even 30. She was 30, 31. No, I lie. She was 31 when she passed away. She had just turned 30. She had just turned. She was turning 32 that year, actually. I apologize. She passed away 3 years ago. And what's crazy about that is when I came for the funeral, of course, I flew from Colorado to Carolina. I was at my aunt's house, and my uncle was talking to me. My uncle, I have a lot of respect for this man. I love this man to death. He's always been a good uncle to me and my cousins. He was a good father to my little cousins that he had. Very close with these. I mean, I lived with them at one point in my life. I went to school in their part of town when I was living with them. So these are people that I really, really take to heart what they say to me, and very close with my aunt. Very close to her. I'm very close to her. I know I don't act like it, but it's, again, I don't know. It's what he said to me that time will never leave me. And he's just like, "Are you going back to school? Are you going to go back to school?" And I'm always like, "Yeah, I'm going to go back to school." I never go back to school. I don't advocate. But I also don't feel like you should just go to school to go to school. If you're going to go to school, make sure you're going to school for something you want to do. There's a lot of things that you can do and be successful at. It doesn't need a degree. Now, you do definitely need to graduate and get your high school diploma and at least your GED. Those 2 things you definitely need. I am referencing college, however. College, I feel like, is debatable. I've always felt that way. I don't feel like everyone is made for college or fit for college. However, I do feel like everyone should have their high school and a GED. So I'm a complete advocate for that. But he was asking me if I was going to go back to school, and I was telling him, yeah. And he finally just looked at me, and he's like, you always say that. You always say that. He's like, you never do it, though. He's like, don't you get tired? Don't you get tired of coming and not being able to do anything? And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm tired. Yep. Tired. But of course, how I work is when I get tired and I get fed up, I'm so thick-headed. I have to like this is the wall, this is me. Oh, okay, oh shit. oh my gosh, that is like real life. I cannot go through that wall. Like, that's just how I am. And I know that's really messed up. And people think that you can just change it. People think, oh, with discipline, you can just change it. Fuck you. You can't. Okay? People have different learning methods, just like people have different teaching methods. And when you're universal like that and you can teach anybody, you can teach people like me. You know what I'm saying? But I unfortunately have to hit a couple walls before I finally say, I'm just going to stop walking into walls because, you know, the wall is just not letting me go through. Like, that's just how I am. I'm a slow learner, and I hit my ass more than once before I figure out, okay, I shouldn't be doing this. And it's crazy because once that happens, now, like, once I've had enough and once it's done, I try to refrain from that ever happening again, which I become obsessed over. So, I don't know. It's crazy. But I ended up seeing my grandfather as well. That same visit, same trip that I was there. And all I know is my grandfather was somebody that I just remember as a little girl dreaming and reminiscing, I should say, about Puerto Rico and how I was when I was living with my grandmother, my grandfather out there. You know, I had my first birthday out there, and I just have very fond memories of being with my grandmother and my grandpa, and how beautiful Puerto Rico was, and how just as a kid it was magical to me, you know. And my grandfather, he's just another man that broke my heart because, I don't know, I went to go visit him, give him some love, and, you know, anytime I'm with my grandfather, he would always just be positive. As crazy as that sounds, because anyone that knows Luis Rodriguez knows that he's anything but positive. But I never had anything bad to say about him. Now, I've heard bad things about him, not just from my grandmother, may she rest in peace, but from his own children. You know, growing up, the stories that I would hear, you know, it made me just be like, wow, that's our grandpa. Wow. You know what I mean? But with me, I would, as a kid, you know, like, I just remember as a little kid waking up and running to my grandpa and jumping on his stomach and playing with his face. And, you know, my grandmother would be doing everything in the house, cooking, cleaning, whatever it was. And if she, you know, I was always with my grandfather. Well, you know, my grandfather knows that things have happened to me. My grandfather knows that I was abused. My grandfather knows the things that have happened to me. And, you know, he attempted to talk to me. For some reason, this visit, you know, with me visiting him, he tried to talk to me about it. And he said what people say to people who are abused every time. Every time. And he's 80 something now. I don't care if he was in a different time. I know that he had 5 daughters plus. I know that he knows what it's like to have a child that is a woman. And you should never say this to someone who was abused. Now, I'm in his apartment, I'm talking. I had no idea that the conversation was going to go this route, but he starts railing on me and starts talking about what a failure pretty much I am. He's like, you have nothing. You don't bring anything to your family. Aren't you tired of coming and visiting and not being able to do anything? And you have nothing to bring to the table. You don't bring anything. You know, with my parents. Now, mind you, this is the man who's did nothing but cheat and leave my grandmother, okay, who had 8 of his children, 7 of his children. And, you know, are you kidding me? Oh, man. I I let him talk, okay? Because, you know, it's out of respect. You just don't. I don't interrupt. My grandfather, of course. Now, there's certain people who I choose to not give that respect to, but it really depends. If I really respect you, I shut up. I'm gonna let you say what you gotta say. And I let him say what he wanted to say. And then I got up and I left. I told him before leaving, though. Oh, I forgot to tell you what he said so you can know why I left. I didn't just hear what my grandfather had to say and him lecturing me and then I got upset and left. Trust me, I didn't get my panties in a wad over that, alright? I got upset and I got hurt. And I walked out of his apartment crying to the parking lot. Because he looked at me and he told me that I asked for what happened to me in my life. Every time I talk about it, it fucks me up. You know, I start getting, I cry. I can't help it. It broke. Listen, you could have told me my grandfather gutted and killed people throughout his whole life. And I loved him. That was my grandpa. But that day, I lost him. That day, he lost me. Anyone who can look at you and tell you that you deserved it, you asked for it, and then expect you to just bounce back like you're some fucking ping pong ball, you know, like, God, some people go through hell and back and they're so successful. They have a defect. We just don't see it. We just don't know it. So it's not fair for those who wear their defects on their outer layer, whatever it is, should be held accountable or held against, you know, I shouldn't be held against that. I shouldn't. So I walked out. I left his apartment. I was fucking pissed, okay, that he said this to me. I told my mother I couldn't drive. I told him that I didn't deserve it. And I told him before leaving that I didn't ask for that to be happen. I didn't ask those things to happen to me. And I walked out. I didn't even say bye. I just walked out. My grandfather has not seen me from that day, and I have not talked to him from that day. Nope. Anyway, when I left, I went home, talked to my mom. My mom calmed me down. I was able to drive, and it made me feel like I felt. It made me feel like how I felt when I got told by the New York City Police Department in front of my father that I was a liar, that I was not raped, that it was all false. Because I had the streets, because I had all the information fucked, like I remembered, like I couldn't remember the street sign, I couldn't remember where exactly I was, I couldn't remember certain things, and I don't know why, but I just couldn't. It made me just feel like you're nothing. They don't believe you. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. A lie that goes on for months, supposedly. I couldn't even go to the bodega, the store right next to my father owned a house. I didn't want to go anywhere alone, and I was like that for months. I ended up moving out of New York because it wasn't just my behavioral problems. I couldn't live there. I couldn't do it. And that's another story that I'm going to talk about. You know, this is not just about molestation and abuse, you know, it's about all types of abuse. physical, mental, emotional, rape, all of that is in the same box. And when I heard my grandfather say that to me that day, it just brought me back to when I was young and I was being interrogated. Now, that story and how that happened is a whole crazy story. It was when I was living in New York. I was living with my father, and unfortunate bad things happen, which just makes me feel like I'm cursed, you know? I feel like so many doors have been opened and just let horrible people come in. And, you know, people wonder like why I put myself in, like, I'm single now, but I have a history of being with just horrible people. I have bad character judgment, which, go figure. End up dating guys who are abusive, dating guys who have problems, you know, not just substance abuse, but maybe alcoholics. I just have a bad history of dating bad guys. However, now that I am how I am, I haven't been in a serious relationship in over 2.5, almost 3 years. I've dated, but I've not been in a serious relationship because I'm terrified. It's like, I don't want to be alone, and I want to be with people, and I want to meet new people because I know there's good people. But I don't want to trust anyone. I don't want anyone to make me care for them and then they end up turning on me, because it seems like I just have a bad track record. So it's like I date and then I end it. I date and then I end it. Which, once again, anyway, this video is getting way too long, but I will be doing another video, maybe not tonight, but tomorrow, Friday. So I'm gonna go into finishing up what I was talking about before, and picking up on my video log 3. So picking up where I left off on video log 3. There's gonna be a lot of different things that are going to be happening on this channel. I'm hoping my birthday, by the time my birthday comes, to get a tablet or a laptop or something. All these people have like these really cool videos, and they have software, and they have graphics, and they can edit, and they can do all these cool things, and I'm working on my smartphone. I want to do all those things. I'm awesome at those things. I just don't have, my computer like died on me. It's just dead. I need to buy a new one. So I'm hoping by the time my birthday comes, I can buy myself a computer, so I can do some really awesome videos. Because there is a funny side to me, and there's an awesome side, and I have a great sense of humor. God, my family, there's just so many good things about my family, not just bad. You know what I mean? Just hilarious moments that I'm going to share with all of you guys, and hopefully I can get some fans, man. I got 2 videos, only 2 in 2 weeks. I've gotten over 300 views. Not bad at all. I guess I get view jealous when I see other people's videos and they have like 32,000. I don't know. Maybe everyone feels like that. So I feel like if I was to hook up my videos, hook them up with the software, hook them up like I need to, I would get a fan. I'd get a fan base, and I want to talk to people who have gone through what I've gone through, or who understand what I'm talking about, and get insight, you know. This is not just a one-sided story. This is me telling you what I'm wanting to hear feedback, and of course the negative ones won't be explained at all or even referenced, but the real ones, the genuine questions, or comments, or anything that you feel that would help. I need to know. So with that, I hope everyone has a good Thursday. We're getting closer to Friday. It's not your Friday. I'm sorry. But until tomorrow. Bye.